Truths about living in Japan no one talks about. There's 50 facts about Japan. Hope I know all.
Did you know that in Japan, you can't use your signature? You need a specially made seal instead.
Oh.
Or how about the fact that cleaning is part of the school's curriculum? Or that your tattoo can get you banned from the gym.
Those are basic
That's just
stuff.
the beginning. Today, we're revealing 50 facts about living in Japan
50
that
facts.
no one really talks about.
I'm excited.
Fact number 50. The traditional meal for Christmas Eve is KFC.
That's pretty basic, right?
But how did KFC become intertwined with Christmas? In the 1970s, the manager of one of the first Japanese KFCs heard foreign visitors complaining that a traditional Christmas turkey dinner was really hard to find. So they ordered a fried chicken dinner instead. KFC in Japan took advantage of this relative lack of turkey to advertise chicken dinners for Christmas in 1974, promoting it as Kentucky for Christmas. To this day, KFC's profits double in December in Japan.
And also, I think a lot of Japanese associate with the Colonel Sanders with Santa Claus.
Fact number 49. People avoid and fear the number 4. A superstition around the number 4 exists in
I think that's all people.
quite a few Asian countries, and for similar reasons. In Japanese, the number 4 can be pronounced shi, and the word for death is also shi. Though they are represented by different kanji symbols, they sound the same. So the number 4 is considered deeply unlucky, much like the number 13 in Western cultures. As a result, many buildings skip the 4th floor entirely.
I mean, not that much. I mean, I don't think it's majority. Majority of building has 4. And also some building doesn't have 9, because 9 is ku, meaning pain. Ku.
The British Medical Journal found that Japanese and Chinese people were 13% more likely to die of heart failure on the 4th day of any month. Go figure. Fact number 40.
And also, to avoid heart attack, buying cat will help.
You need your own Hanko stamp.
Oh, yeah.
Every Japanese person watching this probably just rolled
That's
their eyes.
insane.
That's because foreigners tend to find Hanko stamps a cute little idiosyncrasy. Meanwhile, Japanese people find them one more incredibly annoying thing they have to deal with in their bureaucratic system. 3 seals. One for signing letters and personal matters, mitomen, a bank seal, ginkoin, and a seal for government documents, jitsuin. There's an alternative personal seal.
This is really insane.
Fact number 47. Japan has a reputation as a high-tech place, but day-to-day life can feel positively 1980s-like. The Japanese bureaucracy
This is something like as a Japanese, like a little annoying narrative because we never said like a Japan is living 2050.
everything must be done in person. Take moving house.
And music sounds like a China. Chinese sound in the background.
Fact number 46.
Insane.
You can relax about your personal belongings. No more nervously checking your pockets every few minutes on the subway or having your bag under your arm at all times.
Not very sure. I heard pickpocket started happening in Japan too.
Crime rate in Japan is low. Like, really low.
At
In
this
2020,
moment.
the homicide rate was 0.2 per 100,000 people. In comparison, the US recorded 5.3 homicides per 100,000 people. The most frequent crime is theft, but it's still exceedingly rare. Fact number 45. A lot of places have umbrella lockers.
I really want to keep Japan safe.
It's best to use them. In their bid to keep everything clean, Japanese stores and offices would rather you not bring your dripping wet umbrella into their space.
I believe that's everywhere.
Fact number 44. Police are trusted and viewed as community assistants.
As a Japanese, that's basic statement. Police are trusted and viewed as a community assistance. Yes, we paying for them. So yes, right?
You may come across a koban, a tiny neighborhood police station meant to help the community. People in Japan ask the police for directions, for help with lost items, and general assistance. A koban also functions as a local lost and found. So if you dropped a bracelet or a wallet, check
Yeah.
there. Perhaps the lack of crime
Most
leaves
likely.
police a lot of free time to help their communities. But they do pretty well with investigating crimes as well. Fact number 43. Use your indoor voice.
What?
Though Japanese cities like Tokyo and Osaka are some of the largest, busiest cities in the world,
I mean, don't be loud?
Japanese people value silence and prefer not to disturb others.
But Japanese iPhone has a sound of shatter because there's a lot of pervert trying to take like sneaky photo of some people on the train.
On public transportation, even on a packed metro or bus, you can often hear a pin drop.
So imagine like trying to make screenshot. you get stand out.
The exceptions are stores, which often blast music and announcements at the same time, and pachinko parlors, where you will walk in and quite literally be assaulted by sounds.
And also a lot of people even care about some residential area. We tend to be quiet in the residential area.
Number 42, speaker cars can make as much noise as they want.
Oh.
The handful of exceptions to keeping volume to a reasonable level, including something most locals hate. Speaker cars. Usually employed when election season rolls around, each candidate sends cars with loudspeakers and volunteers out into their district. The cars blast campaign promises, songs, and slogans.
And also in Tokyo, you might see some gaisen uyok car. And some people mixed up the gaisen uyok and the election car, but I need to tell you. So gaisen uyok, they don't necessarily to carry political message. In the history, they have a huge tie of Yakuza, and their loudspeaker was used to harass people. So you really cannot mix that car and then election car. It's totally different concept. To harass or to attack versus spreading the message is very different.
Which seems a surefire way to get someone to vote for your opponent. But hey, what do we know? Fact number 41. There's more than one way to bow. Most people are aware that Japanese people bow to each other, but there's several ways to bow, depending on the relationship between the people bowing and...
I mean, we don't care about that much numbers though.
Also, avoid any direct eye contact during the bow, which communicates distrust or disrespect.
I mean, just regular bow for saying hi, you can just see it, right?
Fact number 40. People avoid eating or drinking on the go. Speaking of ways you can inadvertently offend someone, you should generally avoid eating and sometimes even drinking on the go.
Okay, so this is really depends on the place. If it's crowded, definitely not. But if it's not crowded, I think it's fine. But it still depends on the place. Definitely not in a shrine.
Fact 39. You'll probably never worry about what's in your food again. Food in Japan is strictly regulated, with an extensive set of rules governing safety, quality, and handling.
But we still use, it's like the US, we still have some, like the bad oil or like the chemicals, especially compared to Europe. I think Japan is not that strict.
Good reason. This is a country where raw fish is a staple, and even raw chicken appears in delicacies like torisashi, raw chicken sashimi, and yakitori tartare.
Raw chicken is so
finely
good.
chopped raw chicken with seasonings. With dishes like that on the menu, the food has to be safe. According to Japanese import site Koview, Japan enforces some of the strictest food safety standards globally to ensure customer protection and preserve its domestic agriculture industry. But you should still be careful how you eat your food, because fact number 38, you can offend people with your chopsticks.
What?
Don't stick your chopsticks into your rice when you're not using them.
It's not offensive, it's just bad manner. Bad manner, it's not about offensive, it's about how we judge you. So it's not offensive.
Custom during Japanese funerals
For most of the
bowls
people.
of rice to those who have passed on, with chopsticks inserted vertically into the bowl.
I
As
guess.
you can imagine, doing that while everyone around you is alive is considered a bad omen and generally rude. You also shouldn't leave your chopsticks laying across your bowl. It's bad etiquette known as watashibashi unless you're done. And you really...
What? I think that's fine.
And definitely don't use them to point. Because, fact number 37,
That's rude.
pointing in Japan is rude and aggressive.
Yeah.
In Japan, pointing is considered rude.
Because Japan is not focusing individual, right? We are focusing the team. So pointing someone is so rare and it's too aggressive.
And overly aggressive, especially in a society that values subtlety and not.
So do this. If we point, do this. Like you are showing some place. Like
Non-confrontation. So, if you need to gesture to something or someone, don't use your index finger. Instead, wave your fingers gently with your palm facing up in the general direction of what you're
Yes.
referencing.
Yes.
And if you want to point to yourself, don't aim for your chest. Point to your nose. When speaking, it's
Chest. No, it's fine. If you do this, it's like a little too childish to me. This is fine.
a good idea to minimize your hand gestures in general, as using them, especially in public or more formal settings, is also frowned upon. Fact number 36. If you're a blunt person, Japan is a challenge. Japanese people generally avoid any interaction that can be seen as confrontational or aggressive, to the point where even the word no is barely said directly. People are more likely to respond with, "It's a bit difficult," or "I'll consider it." This indirect communication style can be very frustrating for certain personality types who would rather get to the point. But it happens because Japan is what's known as a high-context culture.
Yes.
Cultures that tend to emphasize
Yes.
group harmony and also have many shared unspoken rules.
I think this high context culture make non-Japanese people understand Japanese culture very difficult. Because we have every single object or any single action that related to tradition are very, very high context. So in this channel, I can share some more context as much as I can. So if you haven't subscribed my channel, please don't forget to subscribe my channel.
Fact number 35. Tatemae rules social interactions. Japanese split behavior into tatemae and honne. Tatemae is the approach and communication
That's also I see a lot in the Western context.
people are expected to have when they're in public, or among people they don't consider that close. In these cases, people are encouraged to avoid direct expression and prioritize putting others at ease and keeping the peace. Honne, on the other hand, means speaking freely and being yourself, but it's reserved for close friends and family. Tatemae has positives and negatives. Japanese people tend to be polite, helpful, and nice to strangers because of it and rarely publicly lose their cool. On the other hand, it can feel oppressive at times to have to keep yourself in check at all times.
I think to be honest, honne and tatemae exist anywhere. You have some line between your coworker and your best friends, right? I think it's same things. Like a mild tatemae and honne things exist in the US too.
Fact number 34. People are more comfortable naked than you think. For a culture generally perceived as quiet, shy, and avoidant regarding personal issues, it's surprising how comfortable Japanese people are with getting completely naked in front of strangers. We're
But our AV has censorship. Interesting.
talking, of course, about onsens, natural hot spring baths, and sento, public indoor bathhouses. They are gender-segregated communal bathing spaces where a bunch of strangers come together and just relax in the
Yeah.
water. Onsens are supposed to have health benefits as well. Fact number
And if you can talk in honne, in onsen, that's ultimate conversation.
33. You'll learn you've been bathing wrong this whole time. Do not put your dirty body in a bathtub full of water. You're supposed to sit down in a stall, shower first, make sure you're nice and clean, put your hair up if it's long, and then you enter the bathtub. Tubs are meant more for people to
That's a
soak
common
in and
sense.
relax than clean themselves. That's part of onsen culture, so other people can use the water after you, or at the same time as you, without dealing with your dirt. In public baths,
But I think it really depends because I don't think I can ever share the bathtub with my friend. I think it really depends.
you may face another problem. Fact number 32. Tattoos are still frowned upon. Though tattoos have become accepted, even somewhat common these days in many countries around the world, there's still a taboo around them in Japanese
Yeah,
culture.
because of
All the way
Yakuza.
back in the Edo period, from the 17th to the 19th centuries, tattooing people was a form of punishment for
Right.
criminals. Even up to the beginning of the 21st century, tattoos were mostly associated with members of the Yakuza, Japan's most notorious criminal organization.
But surprisingly, our indigenous people, Jomon people, had face tat. So originally, we are very open for tattoo.
Many onsens, gyms, and public pools, there's a ban on people with tattoos entering. Fact number 31. Japan rocks at designing bathrooms in general. Most people know about the amazing Japanese toilets by now. Want to warm your behind? Clean yourself with a spray of water? Play catchy pop music? You can do it all while on the toilet. But Japan is pretty great at bathroom design overall. Like other countries in Asia, most Japanese bathrooms have drains on the floor that drain everything in the bathroom. So,
Wait, I think it's everywhere.
if you splash some water outside the tub or have water sprayed out from the sink or shower, not a problem. Just let it drain away. Speaking of hygiene, fact number 30, you must always have or wear socks. It's more complicated than taking your shoes off before you enter someone's home. People will often be given slippers when entering a home, or
I think we really care about smell. I think that's why.
even some public spaces, but even those can't be worn everywhere. If you're going to enter any space with a tatami mat on the floor, you're expected to take slippers off. But
Yeah.
being barefoot in someone's home is generally not acceptable unless you're very close. So,
Yeah, I think I'm very Japanese. It's kind of gross.
fact 29. If you're over 40, prepare to get your waist measured every year. Japan is not overly concerned with being viewed as fatphobic.
If we're working for the company.
According to the Metabo law, people between the ages of 40 to 74 living in Japan must have their waists measured every year. Excess fat carried around the waist is one of the biggest predictors of a range of medical problems, particularly heart issues and general bad health.
Oh, but I want to say, some YouTube short is saying being fat is illegal in Japan, but it's completely wrong. It's completely lie.
Fact number 28. Life is hard for plus-size people. In Japan, 20% of people are overweight, and less
And also, L size in Japan is M size in the US. If you are from US and if you go to Uniqlo, be careful.
Japanese sizes are generally 1 to 2 sizes smaller than US ones.
Yeah.
To top it off, few plus-size clothing stores even exist. But that's not
But my penis is not that small. I just need to say.
fact number 27. Life as a vegetarian can be hard.
Yeah.
Though there are plenty of
Yes.
vegetables in Japanese cuisine, most dishes have some form of protein in them, usually lean meat or fish. There are fewer vegans and vegetarians in Japan than in many Western countries, so even fewer restaurants cater to those dietary preferences.
And also, even just miso soup, we use dashi, which is from fish. And the dashi is everywhere in Japan.
A 2019 survey by VegWell found that only 2.1% of Japanese people are vegetarian or vegan.
What?
Many chefs still don't even understand vegan dietary restrictions, and most restaurants aren't set up with vegan choices. Plus,
But we don't need to, right? But surprisingly, we were vegetarian for a long time. I think during Sengoku to Edo period.
fact number 26. Even foodie cities like Tokyo don't have a lot of variety. Restaurants in Japan tend to serve one kind of cuisine, Japanese. Though the country is huge with a population
What do you want to do?
of 123 million people, it's not that diverse, meaning there are few immigrant communities to set up or patronize restaurants with foreign cuisines.
Wait, but we have a lot of kinds of food.
While you can find a great variety of Japanese cuisine, from sushi and ramen shops to izakaya, if you want Mexican or Greek cuisine, you'll be lucky to find more than a handful of decent places in all of Tokyo.
I mean, because it's Japan.
Fact number 25. Expats probably won't find some of their favorite sushi rolls. One less
Why?
surprising fact is that if you ask for a rainbow, dragon, California, or Chicago roll in a Japanese sushi restaurant, you're probably gonna get a blank stare. A lot of sushi eaten abroad is not actually Japanese sushi, but rather westernized.
I think that's common knowledge, right?
Fact 24. Food in Japan is still very seasonal. In most developed
What does it mean still? Food is seasonal. Because if season is much, tastes great.
Fact number 23. Konbini are central to Japanese life.
100%.
Japanese convenience stores are known as konbini, with Lawson, Family Mart, and 7-Eleven being the three biggest chains. The 56,000 konbinis are one-stop shops that are open 24/7 for almost anything you can imagine.
As a Japanese, it was most difficult things about living outside of Japan is that I couldn't find a konbini. That was difficult.
Can pay bills there, pick up packages, get late-night snacks, and household products you just ran out of.
And also you can have like some little medicine.
50% of Japanese people stop at a konbini at least once a week.
Just
Fact number 22,
50%?
many places are cash only. An
Yeah.
aversion to digital and preference for paper doesn't just apply to the Japanese government. Given Japan's reputation as a super high-tech place, this surprises a lot of people who show up with a credit card and are politely told, in a very roundabout, indirect way of course, that they can't use it.
But do you know why? It's not just about we are slow to adapting something. We have good and a bad, but very materialistic culture. So we really care about things, like every night samurai was cleaning their sword, something like that.
If you're going to visit temples or shrines, you almost certainly
And a temple and a shrine looks very Chinese.
need to carry cash. Fact number 21. If you go on a trip, don't forget to get and give omiyage. Omiyage translates effectively to souvenir.
Not super
While
necessary
getting
though.
souvenirs for close family or friends is a nice gesture in many cultures, in Japan, the practice is more specific. First of all, omiyage are usually edible goods, and they should be representative of the place you visited.
Yeah.
In other words, local products from there. Second, you're not just getting omiyage for your best friend and mom, you're getting omiyage for the whole office. The idea
Sometimes.
is that it's a thank you to your colleagues who covered your workload while you were on vacation. If you're traveling to meet colleagues far away, you should
It's not thank you for covering my work. It's more about just tradition. And there's a lot of omiyage shop, so you can do that easily.
also bring omiyage from your region to them. But you'll probably rarely leave the office anyway, because fact number 20, Japan has an unhealthy work-life balance. Working long hours to
100%.
the detriment of your social life and personal health is encouraged in Japanese society, which has led to a lot of negative effects for Japanese people. Companies in Japan often expect endless hours of overtime. Nearly 25% of companies expect 80 hours of overtime
What?
a month.
This is insane. I think majority of companies do that, but I hope it's getting disappearing.
Fact number 19, napping on the job is a good thing, at least according
I think it's everywhere, right?
to your boss.
Super
you might
nap.
see Japanese people napping on the metro or a bench after a long day at work, but sometimes people end up napping right on their desk in the middle of a workday. Though many managers would be annoyed at employees catching up on sleep while on the clock, in Japan, this is taken as a sign that an employee
Really?
is so dedicated to their work, they're barely sleeping. But it seems like all those extra hours in the
I've
office
never heard.
aren't even helping the economy. Because fact number 18, Japan's productivity has completely stagnated. We're a long way from the 1980s and 90s, when the explosive growth of Japan's economy left Western nations stunned and worried. Back then, many feared that Japanese industries would outpace and overwhelm their own. But times have changed. Today, Japan ranks 29th in productivity out of 38 OECD countries, a steep drop from its position at 19th back in
But we are still hardworking people.
1970. Though no one has pinpointed a single cause, many believe Japan's declining productivity is tied to its intense work culture. The long hours, chronic overwork, and
Yeah, we really need to change that. It's so toxic, unproductive, not efficient, not healthy, nothing is good. What?
which is fact number 17. There's a big
Loneliness.
problem with loneliness. As time goes on, the Japanese population becomes more and more single. For many people, even young people, it seems the drive to go on dates and meet
I have video that I'm talking about this issue, and I found a reason why. So if you're curious, please check this video.
people blame a combination of the country's incredibly strict work culture coupled
be.
with tight finances for young people.
Could be.
According to a 2022 government survey, 47% of Japanese people feel lonely from occasionally to
And also, I really think a lot of electric cable, that fact that you cannot look up the sky, I think that's the problem too.
As fact number 16, Japan is surprisingly sexist. Though Japan seems modern in so many ways, there's a huge issue with sexism in the country. People still have pretty traditional ideas about gender roles in Japan. A 2020 government survey found that mothers do 3.6 times more housework than fathers on average. Even
That's the thing, sexism is bad, but fact is that there's a lot of women who think this is okay. So I don't know how and when it's gonna change.
When both parents are working. Because of that, many women stop working or opt for part-time jobs after giving birth, as it's hard to balance almost full responsibility for household and childcare duties with a job. In the 2024 Global Gender Gap Index report, Japan ranked 118th out of all countries, right below Tunisia, Bahrain, and Nepal, hardly countries known for their feminism. Fact number 15. Get used to frequent public announcements in rural areas. Smaller towns and rural areas in Japan often have hoso, a local PA system.
It's important,
While
actually.
they're used for emergencies, like warning locals of an impending typhoon, they also announce upcoming town meetings.
Especially for earthquake.
Fact number 14. Addresses work differently. Addresses in Japan are usually written as follows: a 7-digit postal code, followed by the prefecture, the city or ward, the neighborhood or area, and then 3 numbers that represent the district, block, and then building numbers.
I think this make much more sense than US style, right? Just imagine if you are working for post office and you need to categorize the things, right? In Japanese, it is said chōwake. You probably never use that. But first things you want to see is postal code, right? Because detail later. You need to categorize. You need to distribute first. I think this make more sense, I think.
And those last numbers aren't determined as they are in many Western countries. House numbers or
I wonder why they are doing that in the West.
are sometimes ordered by when the house was built.
Maybe West is very individualistic. So you need to find a specific street, like individual first, I think. But Japan, as a group and harmony country, we need to find the numbers first and the counties. I don't know.
Fact number 13. Speaking of addresses, you'll probably get a great mortgage rate on your house. Fact number 12. Signs often feature Japlish, not English. Ahead of the
Japlish.
2020 Tokyo Olympics,
I know what
the
you mean.
Japanese government instructed the
I'm pretty sure my English is much, much better than my English teacher in high school and junior high. I can tell.
Japan Tourism Agency to ensure clear and accurate English translations for the influx of international.
There's a funny video. I can show what he means.
This is my father.
这些人就买房子啊，这些人就买房子啊，
This is my father.
房儿我那个房子啊，
Plaza.
そうそうそう，哎。
Fact number 11. Most used clothing in Japan looks almost brand new. This is less of a language issue and more of a cultural difference. Used item marketplaces like Mercari and brick-and-mortar recycle shops often offer like-new products for a very low price. It makes thrift shopping in Japan a very rewarding experience. There are 2 factors that lead to this quirk.
Tell me.
First, Japanese people are generally more likely to take good care of their belongings due to their education and cultural practices.
Right.
Second, it's incredibly hard to return any item to a Japanese store unless you can prove it doesn't work. So
The return policy in Japan is really bad. We have culture that think that it's customers' responsibility to make right decision.
if someone buys clothing and then decides they don't like the way it looks or fits, it's sent to the recycle shops. Fact number 10. Japanese people wear masks for all different kinds of reasons, not just if they have a contagious virus. About 40% of Japanese people suffer from hay fever, and masks decrease the severity of symptoms. Others who suspect they're getting sick will wear one to prevent transmitting disease to others. Some women might throw one on if they didn't have time
I think
to do
mostly
makeup.
allergy.
That being
pollen.
said, if you are visibly sick, it's highly recommended you wear a mask in Japan. Fact number 9.
So after World War II, Japanese government planted a lot of cedars. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of Japanese has allergy.
You may not be able to take some prescription drugs you take for granted. Have ADHD and need Adderall in Japan? Well, too bad, because it's illegal there. As is any other drug, prescription or not, containing amphetamines. And the list doesn't stop there. A lot of medications meant to treat depression, allergies, pain, and even decongestants are also illegal in Japan.
Didn't
and if you
know.
want to buy anything with THC or CBD in it, you're risking arrest because it's, that's right, illegal.
Yeah,
If you think
but surprisingly, until recently, using of THC wasn't illegal.
Japanese laws are strict with prescription drugs, wait till you hear fact number 8. the country has more strict anti-drug
Yeah.
laws. After Japan lost World War II, the country was decimated, and life on the ground wasn't great for a couple of decades. This led to rampant meth abuse in the 1940s and
Yeah.
1950s. At one point, open democracy counted 550,000 drug addicts in the 50s, at a time of increasing crime rates tied to drug use in Japan. This led to zero-tolerance drug policies for street drugs, and even prescription drugs with amphetamines. Drug use was linked to crime and seen as a general disruption to the social order. Even today, Japan's drug laws
And also to weaken Yakuzas.
don't distinguish between possession and intent to distribute. So simply having drugs on you for personal use can get you the same jail sentence as a dealer. Japan's harshest penalty is reserved for the production of its much-hated amphetamines, as
Even weed. If you do weed in Japan and then police catch you, your life is fucked up. You might lose your job, you might lose your reputation, and you might end up going to jail. So I wonder when they're gonna legalize weed. I really think if US asks Japan, they might do.
Let's return to something lighter. Fact number 7, get used to being incredibly hygiene conscious. In Japan, you better get used to being extra clean. Getting ready to eat, you'll likely be given an oshibori, a wet towel.
Yeah.
Just left the bathroom and touched the door? Best to use a wet wipe.
Even
Going to pick up
Yakuza.
an iced coffee? You'll probably get a wet wipe as well. Fact number 6, throwing out your trash in public can be very difficult. In a surprising twist, there aren't that many trash cans in public.
It wasn't like that though. It changed after 90s because of a terrorist.
In 1995, the Aum Shinrikyo cult
Oh, yeah.
planted sarin gas
Yes,
in public
Aum
areas,
Shinrikyo.
specifically in many trash cans, which led to a lot of them being taken down. So be prepared to have a little bag with you where you can dispose of any garbage you create while you're out and about. Fact number 5, trash sorting in Japan is an art and a chore. Fact number 4, Gakko Soji teaches students to clean. Japanese schools tend to have maintenance staff instead of the traditional janitors US schools employ.
When I was a kid, this was like a really annoying. I thought it's kind of child abuse, but I think this is good because it can teach you some sort of responsibility, cause and result, and kind of stuff. And also teamwork. Then I feel like I'm getting old Japanese.
Every day in Japanese schools, students clean their classroom and common areas, with teachers putting students in groups and giving them different tasks depending on the day. The idea is not only to teach students how to take care of their surroundings and belongings, but also to foster a sense of responsibility for the maintenance of the areas they use.
Yes.
Fact number 3.
Yes.
Clothing is determined by date,
Good job.
not weather. Fact number 2. Schools function in a very unique way. Students in Japan generally put in a lot more days of schoolwork and are given way more responsibilities than many Western counterparts.
Yes.
The school year runs from April to
I hated school.
March, and schools used to have half days on Saturdays, though that practice is slowly disappearing. When students get to their homeroom, they stay there throughout the day while their teachers move around from period to period. Lastly, students are given many tasks that teachers and other staff would usually handle in non-Japanese schools, not only cleaning rooms, but also taking attendance and collecting homework. Japan
I mean, can you imagine being child already getting ready for hard-working culture? You need to study, you need to clean, you need to a lot of stuff and homework.
generally believes in making kids responsible, which is why, fact number 1, it's
Number
normal
one.
to see elementary school-aged kids running errands. Unlike in other countries where kids sometimes don't
You see the TV show, right? In a Netflix? I forgot the English name. I highly recommend watching that because you can tell how safe Japan is. I mean, still. And the children in Japan has the kind of independent idea. I don't know
learn
why.
how to make their bed until they move out, or later, kids in Japan are encouraged to be very independent from a young age. The fact that Japan is an incredibly safe country obviously enables parents to trust that their kids will be okay out and
Oh,
about.
that's the
which
reason?
might be why they will send
I really think that's related to samurai culture. Because for the samurai, 14 years old is already adult and having a sword. So I think that's related.
kids down to the grocery store or to school on foot or via metro from 6 or 7 years old. Something
Yeah, my dad asked me to get the cigarette for him. That was so annoying.
that will get Child Protective Services called on you in other countries.
And
Thanks for
that's the
joining me
last.
today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more videos like this, then
That's the last. And there's a top comment. As a Japanese person, most of the things mentioned here are truth and normal for us. However, why is Chinese music being used in the background? Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next video. Peace. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, click on the left for the fun video about Japan and on the right to see more videos. You guys have a great day.